Want to start a podcast, or are you already a podcast host? What would you say if I told you that you can get paid up to $31 per guest you interview, and I can help you book those guests? If you want to start making more money with your podcast right now and interview great guests who your listeners will love, it's not too good to be true. It's Podmatch. If you use my Podmatch link in the show notes right now, Podmatch will pay you up to $31 per interview. Yes, up to $31 per interview. I did not stutter. If you want to make more money from your podcast while expanding your reach and getting more listeners, simply click our Podmatch link in the show notes right now to check out this really cool opportunity.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
This is the Podgasm Marketing Podcast, where we show podcast hosts just like you how to get more listeners and more subscribers by creating clear and compelling brand messages. One reason podcasts fail to gain more listeners, more subscribers, and fail to generate more revenue is because they lack that clear, compelling brand message, aka people don't know why they should listen, or what it's about, or why it's for them. And most podcasts and businesses have a confusing brand message, and what they don't realize is that confused people don't buy, or in this case, choose to listen to such a podcast. On the Podgasm Marketing Podcast, we show you how to speak your listeners' language in a clear, compelling way using a proven battlefield communication framework and effective communication tactics I learned in the military and used while planning missions and fighting in a war zone, so your podcast will grab and keep your listeners' attention while getting you more downloads and more subscribers more often. Since getting out of the military, I've been a professional speaker and communicator for over 17 years. I've written 4 books, and I'm also a business and ad copywriter, and also a former story brand marketing guide and copywriter. In other words, I'm a word nerd, and I get paid to write words that convince people to take a particular desired action. And I'm going to show you how to use my skills on this podcast to grow your own. If you host a podcast and you're frustrated that you aren't getting as many downloads or results as you think you should, and maybe you're thinking about giving up, it probably has a lot to do with your brand messaging, and this podcast is for you. My goal is to keep every episode under 10 minutes, so they're short and value-packed and easy to apply to your podcast so you can get the results you want. And be sure to grab the free Speak Your Listeners Language PDF. It's a simple 3-page PDF that's going to show you 7 super simple keys to crafting your podcast messaging in a way that will make your podcast more appealing to more people. So if you want more people to notice your podcast more often and subscribe to it, go grab it right now. It's free. Just click the link in the show notes that says Speak Your Listeners Language, or grab it at podgasmshow.com. So listen to a few episodes and click that subscribe button right now if you're a podcaster to get notified when I put out a new quick and valuable episode that will help you say what you do better and create better content so you can get more listeners faster and watch your podcast grow. I'll see you in the next episode.
Ain't nobody stopping me.
Do you struggle to write compelling and effective brand messaging that gets your podcast noticed? Do you want more people to listen to your podcast, but you struggle to talk about it in a way that grabs their attention and keeps it? If your podcast marketing messaging is not up to par, you are losing listeners. But maybe you don't know anything about copywriting and writing marketing messaging and such. Fortunately for you, I've been doing it for over 17 years. Do you want me to write your podcast marketing messaging for you in a clear, powerful, and compelling way that grabs your ideal listeners' attention and makes them want to listen to your podcast over and over again? Each month, I take on a small, limited number of clients and rewrite their podcast marketing messaging for them. Yes, I do all the hard work for you, and you just get to enjoy the benefits of it without any of the headaches when I'm done. If you want me to craft clear, distinct, and compelling marketing messaging that grows your podcast for you so you can attract more listeners consistently, send me an email right now at podgasmshow@gmail.com. There's a link in the show notes. And put the word consult in the subject line to check my availability.
Ain't nobody stopping me.